Good evening, and welcome to the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. I gotta turn this thing off. Which remote is it? How is there audio here now? All right. Where was I? Good evening, and welcome to the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. Tonight we are live, and that's what happens when you're live, from Studio Vanguard, and we are linked in with the following repeaters. Jeff, what repeaters are we following?
We're following Flagship, McDonough, Toccoa, Jersey, Rome, Columbus, Watkinsville, Lula, Zebulon, Noonan, Dallas, Ocala, Ottawa, Chattanooga, Cades Cove, Fort Mountain, Lookout Mountain, White Oak Mountain, and Georgetown, and of course our VoIP service, Zello.
Tonight, our RF coverage is a pretty big deal. This net takes place every Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m. I'd like to thank everyone who's made the North Georgia GMRS the most expansive and active GMRS network in the country. Your net control tonight is Atlanta 946, WQYR 514. My name is Justin.
And Atlanta 947, WQY 514. My name's Julie.
That's you.
And WRWM 344, Blue Ridge 63. My name is Mike.
Atlanta 750, WRMR 367. My name is Jeff. We have a couple guests in studio tonight, but not quite enough microphones. You can see his head poking through the door behind me. We got Dallas 20 in studio as well, Mr. David.
David.
Who's our special guest over there?
Well, tonight we have my dad. This is WQYR 514, and this would be Atlanta 946.1. Gino is in studio with us tonight, and so we'll have some interesting field operations stories along that line. So that'll be good stuff. All right, on the net, you can talk about your day's activities. Equipment, audio, radio equipment, or anything you think we'd like to hear about. This is a family-based network, so we encourage you to get your family involved. Guest check-ins are welcome from anyone with a valid FCC call sign. Once the floor is open, it is permissible to address other members of the net by name or tactical unit number. Your FCC call sign is only required when you sign in and sign out of the net. Also, you can tune in to our YouTube live stream and follow along. Or even better, tune in after the net to watch your appearance on the network and hear how you sound to us right here in Studio Vanguard. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment so we know you are watching. These interactions mean the most to help our new channel grow. One thing to be aware of is if you're watching the live stream, there is a delay. So if you're watching on your TV or your laptop and you hear us call your name, by the time you hear us call your name, we're no longer waiting and we've moved on. So if you want to watch the live stream, be cognizant of that delay, and you might want to listen on your radio when you see the log getting close to your name so that you can be ready when we call on you. All right, and with that, let's go ahead. Well, Jeff, what are we talking about this week?
This week, we are going to talk about field operations. So, is all we're talking about is operating in a field?
Is that like the game where you've got the tweezers and you got to pull the little plastic pieces out without making the buzzer go off?
No, that's just operations.
Okay.
It's the same, only different.
Ah, okay. Well, I suppose with that, let's see if Julie has any tips for us.
Well, thank you for that. Again, this is WQYR 514, Atlanta 947. My name is Julie with this week's New User Tips and Operating Procedure segment. And yes, this week we will talk about radio field operations. Field operations are basically any time you use your GMRS radios away from your primary operating position. There are a lot of ways you can use your radio in this way. It could be a handheld radio on the trail in the woods or on the farm in the pasture. It might be a mobile radio mounted to a side-by-side out on the trails, or maybe just while camping or hiking. These are just a few examples of field operation. Some things to consider while operating remotely are: do you need an extra battery for your HT? Do you have to consider setup time for an ammo can radio? Will you be able to perform your primary tasks for remote operation and use the radio? For example, handheld radios make us think we can walk around and talk at the same time. In fact, in some circles, they are referred to as walkie-talkies. However, in actual use, it is important to stand still while using an HT because even small motions can wash your signal in and out. Even so, deploying your radio operations to the field is pretty straightforward. Most field operations should be done in simplex, but there are times when repeater access can be important. Before you go, you should have an awareness of repeater locations relative to your operational area. There are a lot of resources on the North Georgia GMRS Network website, including an interactive map of GMRS repeaters. Be sure your radios are programmed for any repeaters within range of your operational area. Once on scene, engage in some limited testing, both in simplex and in repeater calls, to know what coverage you might have. Location is everything, so having coverage on high ground does not ensure you'll have coverage in lower elevations. Coverage will vary with terrain, even in simplex. As you operate in the field, make notes regarding areas of good coverage and areas with poor coverage. This will help in future endeavors within that operating area. Do we need to break?
Yes.
These are just a few of the preferred practices of North Georgia GMRS members, and these procedures are how we become the best operators on the nation's largest, most advanced repeater network. And remember, if you have any questions or suggestions for new user tips and operating procedures, send me a note at julie@ngGMRS.org. We are North Georgia GMRS Network, and this is WQIR 514, Atlanta 947. My name is Julie. Good night, everyone.
Well, good night, Julie, and thank you for those tips. And that's a great way to kick off tonight's discussion about field operations. So it has nothing to do with the little set of tweezers and the little plastic bones to pick out of the cartoon guy on a board game?
It does not.
Oh, well, I suppose field operations are going to be fun anyway.
That's right.
All right. Well, thank you again.
Good night.
Good night. And with that, we're going to take a moment to kind of reset in here. We'll get David back in the chair, and we'll kick things into gear. So at this time, let's call out to, well, I don't know that CV 2 times is available tonight, so I think it's going to be CV 3 times with news and information about some event that's coming up soon. Gainesville 287. Trey, are you there?
No, Justin, I sent you a text correcting what 287 had sent to you, but Gainesville 285 here with the information about the barbecue, not 287.
All right. Well, that's quite okay. I'll make the adjustment, and since we've got you on the air, let's go ahead and check in Gainesville 285, and I'm willing to bet he's going to check in by relay Gainesville 286. So we'll make note of that in the log, and you can confirm. But CV, is there something going on Saturday that you want to talk about?
And net control, you're correct about Gainesville 286 by relay. And if you notice a difference in the voice tonight, we're dealing with pollen issues up here. Just a lot of blowing the nose and coughing going on because of pollen. But anyway, Gainesville 287, Trey, and retired Deputy Don Gainesville 391 are currently working on preparing the meat to go in the smoker tomorrow morning. And let me break, and we'll talk about a couple little things that people need to know about Saturday. all, if you do not know what we're talking about, there's a barbecue this Saturday. Gates open at 10:30 a.m. I believe if you'll go to North Georgia GMRS.org, you will, or NGGMRS.org, you'll find information on it there. Or all communications can be directed to NGGMRS, that's short for North Georgia GMRS Events, EVENTS, at gmail.com, and we'll give you all the information that you might need. If you missed it, let me break. Gates open at 10:30 a.m. Saturday morning. They will not open earlier. Hall County Sheriff's Office will be providing traffic control on the Ransom-Free Road, which is access to the LL Farm and Event Center. We have a great crowd of people coming, and when you get to the gate to go into the Event Center, you're going to be checked in. Take about 5-10 seconds. Go on down, and we ask you to go to the registration table inside the barn and pick up necessary information, including door prize tickets. So other than that, we're going to recognize some lifetime members, new lifetime members, give away some door prizes, and Kate will be there with North Georgia GMRS merchandise. I call it comms trailer, Vanguard, is going to be there on display and functional. Chattanooga Radio is going to be there with giveaways and stuff to sell. Gary's going to be giving away stuff. So a lot of good things happening this Saturday.
Very exciting stuff. Well, CV, let me ask you, if I wanted to bring my dog, would that be okay?
Yeah, you've been funny for a couple of days on Facebook, that's for sure. Your dog would have to be a registered service dog, not a comfort dog, because your grandmama looked at you cross-eyed when you were 5 years old. But it has to be a papered, registered service dog, and there is a designated place for the dog to do the dog's business. So hope that answers your question.
All right, very good. So I understand pets are not permitted at this event. So this event is an active farm, and as such, it's just not a very good environment to bring your pets to. So please leave your pets at home. Another question I have, CV, is there a place where I can smoke if I need to go out and burn a cigarette?
You're making this hard. Smoking, but I appreciate it. Smoking is limited to inside your vehicle. There are horses roaming this property when there's not an event there, and those horses do not respond well to ingesting a cigarette butt. So the event owners are very restrictive about the cigarette smoking because of extensive vet bills they've had in the past. Hope that answers that question.
All right, very good stuff. So it may seem a bit inconvenient, but there's very good reason for no smoking on the grounds because this, as I said earlier, this is an active farm that that livestock resides on. So when we're not there enjoying the property, there are livestock that live there, and so the things that we leave behind can be detrimental to those animals. So for that reason, smoking is not permitted on the property. CV, are there any other things that I need to be aware of? If I show up early, can I just hang out at the gate, or will the officers make me drive away?
Well, they might make you drive away, but for the general public who shows up early, no, you can hang out at the gate.
All right, well, there you have it. I guess it just depends on who you are, and so we'll see how things play out. But looking forward to seeing lots of our members on Saturday. This will be the largest attendance that we've ever had. Are we at the limit, CV, or is there room for one more?
Well, I don't know what the exact numbers are right now. I know that we've had emails coming in. Some of them appear to be one canceling and two requesting to come and that sort of thing, which is great. People are communicating, so I don't know what the exact number is, but I will say that I'm very comfortable that if anyone wants to come, we'll have a slot for them, because the event center owner has actually kind of loosened up with me a little bit on the numbers, so we're good. Just send me an email at NGGMRSevents@gmail.com, and we'll take care of you best we can.
Very good, and that's great news. So if you've been on the fence about coming and not sure if you can make it, you still have tonight and tomorrow to send an email to CV. We do need everybody that's coming to RSVP, and have your name on the list at the gate. That way the officers that are manning the gate won't have any problems letting the correct people in. So please RSVP to the email address that CV had indicated. Can you give us that email address one more time, CV?
You're really making them work tonight.
That would be NGGMRS, short for North Georgia GMRS, events, EVENTS, @gmail.com.
All right, very good. Well, CV, I appreciate you entertaining all of the questions and providing all of the information. I promise not to make you answer any more questions until Saturday. Hopefully you can rest that voice and understand that Saturday will be a pollen-free zone. So if you do have allergy issues, bring your allergy medicine. But, we're going to do our best to keep all the pollen away. I'm not sure how that works, but we'll figure something out. Or we won't. So with that in mind, thank you again, CV. I appreciate you providing us with that information. All right, at this time, let's go ahead and show CV as in and outer. He's going to come back with more stuff, and we've had just about enough of that.
What time did gates open again?
The gates open at 10:30.
Can I show up early?
You can show up early, and I believe that the officers will ask you to drive away and come back at 10:30.
So 10:30 it is.
You should plan on being there at 10:30 or even shortly thereafter. So plan accordingly. It's a small road. If you try to park on the road and wait for the gates to open, you're gonna tie things up. So the best plan is to if you're a few minutes early, stop at the Dunkin' Donuts and hang out for a few minutes. Grab an iced coffee, and you can start your day off with that beverage. There will be beverages and refreshments available at the venue, but
And if you don't drink iced coffee, you can bring me and Mike one.
Yeah, there you go.
Man, that would be great.
The guys here do appreciate that kind of service. So feel free to bring one by. All right. I think at this time we're going to go ahead and get things started. We've got to take additional check-ins, don't we?
We've got room for a few more.
I think we can take just a handful.
Just
So
a few.
with that in mind, let's see if there are any Zello check-ins. Now, folks, we're looking for Zello check-ins. If you're trying to check in with a radio, whether it be a handheld or a mobile radio or even your base station, hold your traffic. When you interfere with the Zello check-ins, it just takes us that much longer. There will be a long and awkward pause for Zello check-ins, and the purpose for that is because of the finicky push-to-talk function with Zello. So please hold your radio traffic until we've had a chance to get Zello check-ins. Net Control standing by. No Zello check-ins.
We had good run for early check-ins with Zello.
Yeah, I think I only saw 4 or 5. 5. All right. I think that was a long and awkward pause, and I think that's a good indication we've got all of our Zello check-ins tonight. If you can you still have the opportunity to try to fight your way in between regular traffic if you are trying to check in on Zello, but that's what that long pause was intended for. At this time, we'll continue with check-ins from any repeater other than Flagship. Net Control standing by.
This is WRKG852, game 17, checking in on the Lula repeater. Be checking in and checking out, along with Gainesville 118 and Gainesville 120, checking in and out along.
Was that last one?
120.
120.
WRCR 952, McDonald 22, Tim in Stockbridge, in and out tonight, please.
Pretty sure we already have Tim.
We do. He was just in.
Line 30.
5, WSA 606. I'll be checking in and out.
Something
This is
75.
Cindy in Coma.
CW5. That's right. Was she checking in and out?
I think so.
I think so too.
Okay.
This is Chattanooga 110, WROT 224, Jim in Ringgold, checking in and checking out tonight. Have a good night.
Yes, Cynthia is in and out.
Thank you.
This is WSAL 459, Chattanooga 59. Ivan, checking in and checking out.
This is WSAL 368, Atlanta 263, Roger and Dunwoody, checking in, checking out.
All right, let me go ahead and acknowledge this round of check-ins. We heard that's going to be Gainesville 54. Kevin is a YouTube check-in. He's in and out. Atlanta 557, Ed in Kennesaw, also a YouTube check-in, in and out. In Atlanta 558, Denise, another YouTube check-in, in and out. And, of course, we've already heard from Gainesville 285, Charlie Victor 2 times, from Murrayville, in and out. And Gainesville 286, Lynn from Murrayville, is in and out. That'll bring us to Chattanooga 121, Mark in Ottawa. Oh, he's a YouTube check-in. Thank you, Mark. We have Gainesville 117, Damon in Murrayville, as well as Gainesville 118 Susan in Murrayville, and Gainesville 120 Emmeline in Murrayville. All were in and out. Great to hear you guys back on the air. Looking forward to hearing or even seeing all of you on Saturday, but looking forward to hearing you all on the air some more. Also, we heard CW5, Cynthia. Now, is it Cynthia or Cindy? I'm not entirely sure. CW5, can you come back and clarify that for me?
This is W5. I go by Cindy. I know it's Cynthia on this side. You can change it. You can change it to Cindy on the register. But that's what I go by.
Very good. I thought I heard that on the air at some point along the way. I cannot change it in the register, but we'll make note of it here and try to reference that as we go forward. And so we've got CW5 Cindy is in the log tonight as in and out. Great to have you along with us. Chattanooga 110 Jim in Ringgold is in and out. Chattanooga 59 Ivan in, is that Riceville?
That's what it says.
Is that how you say that? I'm going to call it Riceville till somebody tells me otherwise. I've got a feeling I'm pronouncing it wrong. Ivan is in and out, and I have Atlanta 263. Roger in Dunwoody is in and out. You know, working on a railroad and on a Teams call with a bunch of guys from the field and a bunch of guys from different vendors' offices, and giving instructions to the guys in the field to do this or to do that, and they every time you tell them to do something, their form of acknowledgement is Roger. We're not even on a radio. This is a Teams conference call, and Roger this and Roger that, and so I commented on the Teams chat. Why do they think my name is Roger? So Roger, I wonder how often you hear that. But in any case, I'm glad to have you along. And so at this time, let's see. That was we're still looking for flagship check-ins.
That was everybody but flagship.
That was everyone. So let's see if we can get. We got room for just a couple more. Anybody from any repeater, including flagship. Net control standing by.
This is WRBG 415 Atlanta 11, John in Canton. Please check me in and out.
Is UROB 245 Atlanta 849 Pamela and Duluth, and by relay Atlanta 848 Ernest in Duluth, and we will see you at the registration table. We're in and out.
Hey, Donna.
What happened?
Something. We acknowledged his check-in earlier, didn't we?
He said he's checked in 3 times. You've never heard it. That's what he said.
I've got him in the log. Row 30.
This is
And I show that we called him.
WQ 39 Atlanta 780.
I'm going to guess that he's in and out. He usually is out.
Yeah.
This is WRJR 959 CW2 checking in, checking out.
Do you have to take that?
I'll call him back. I'll have to get it right this second.
Well, I thought it was your work. That's why I
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
This is WRZJ 807 Dallas 69 checking in, checking out.
Dallas what?
I thought he said 29.
That's what I thought I heard. We're not getting a name on that.
Or was that Dallas 69?
Let's try 69.
This is This is WRCT 399 Atlanta 261 Scott from Holly Springs.
69.
If you don't mind, check me in and check me out. I will be monitoring.
Did you say it is 69?
69
See every
And he's in
one of
there.
your
Got it.
beautiful faces Saturday. Thank you.
This is
I can hear you, McDonough 22.
Seems like we have an issue in McDonald.
Repeater's working good. I don't know if it's connected because I've heard you call out and nobody's responded. So this is WRZY312. Clear.
This is WRTI 560, Don in Kennesaw, Atlanta 589. Take me in and out.
All right, no Don stories tonight. All right, let me go ahead and acknowledge this round of check-ins. But before I do, let me acknowledge McDonough 22, Tim in Stockbridge. We heard all three of your check-ins. You were acknowledged after your first one, but understand you didn't hear that. So you are definitely in the log, Tim. We've got you in. So looking forward to chatting with you here in just a little bit. Also, we heard Atlanta 11, John in Canton is in and out. We have Atlanta 849, Pamela in Duluth, in and out. Atlanta 848, Ernest in Duluth, in and out. Atlanta 780, Houston in Austell is in and out. Should we check in the Mustang guy? He sure wants to know, and wants us to know that he's out there.
Every Thursday.
Yeah, yeah. CW2, Stephen in Arnoldsville is in and out. Dallas 69, Brett in Hiram is in and out. Atlanta 261, Scott in Holly Springs, in and out. Looking forward to seeing you on Saturday. In Atlanta 589, Don in Kennesaw is in the tail gunner spot right now. Don, we've got you in and out. Those are the check-ins we have at this time. There will be one more round of late check-ins before we close the program. This time we're going to go ahead and kick things into gear. And tonight we're talking about field operations. So before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about some field adventures. And some of the things that my dad has, he's been on the trails for, oh my gosh, since I was probably 7-8 years old at Salamone Forest. Load up the camper and the horse trailer for Labor Day weekend and go out to ride horses all weekend long. And you've been doing that for.
Since 1968.
He's been doing that for 50 years. Yeah. So close to it anyway. So, yeah, we'll have to get you come up here to the microphone. But do you have any trail stories you'd like to share this evening?
Well, offhand, it's hard to bring one out that's
right
rises above the other.
Yeah, that's good.
I rode from Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Illinois, Ohio, Kentucky and Tennessee, Missouri. We went for weeks at a time and enjoyed ourselves. The most I rode at one time was 40 miles in a day, and I rode a lot of 25-mile days. But I started with quarter horses, and after about 25 years, I switched over to gaited horses. I could see more country in less time, and it was really interesting. Had a good time. Had some good buddies I rode with. They're all passed, and I don't even ride anymore, but I sure miss it. It's just darn good people, and it's a nice way to spend your time. It's expensive, but you come all said and done, I end up broke, but I sure had a good time.
Well, you ride a different trail these days, a full-time RV life. And well, time to break? How many minutes ago? All right, we'll come back. So you're full-time RV living these days?
Yes, I have been for the last 4 years.
And so you just spent most of the winter in Texas?
6 months.
That's a pretty cool adventure.
Yeah. 6 months in Texas and 6 months in Indiana.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
so Indiana is home. That's where we're all from. And
but the winters are rough.
Yeah. Winters are rough around here. So Indiana winters, you can have those. That's for sure. So good stuff. All right. You have anything else you'd like to share?
Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. All right. So, radio adventures in field operations is kind of the topic tonight. Dad's not much of a radio operator. He's, used radio in his cement truck for many years and operated CB on the highway for years. But these days, you don't even have a CB in the coach, do you? Yeah. So that's kind of a past thing. But, in our application, we all love radio. That's why we're here. And there's a way to use radio in most of the things that we do. And, even if it's not GMRS radio, if you're engaged in just about any activity, if you can't use it, GMRS radio, you might be able to use amateur radio in that application. But for us, there's lots of things we can do in terms of operating at the park, hiking, camping. Radios work great on the lake. So if you need to talk to, and that's one thing, a marine radio, you can't really talk to a shore party on your marine radio. It's not allowed. But if you have a GMRS radio on the lake, you can talk to people on the shore, and you can organize, that you're going to pick somebody up at such and such a dock, or that they're going to be waiting for you at such and such a place, or maybe they're on their way to the lake and they're going to pick up some food on the way, and you can say, hey, don't forget the potato salad. Or maybe they should forget the potato salad. In any case, you can't do that with a marine radio, but you can do that with GMRS. So what kind of field operations do you typically engage in will be our question for the evening. So David, you wanna kick things off? Where are we at here? You at the top of the log?
I can get there.
Yeah.
Let's
Who's first?
see here.
Oh, maybe David could share his field operations.
He doesn't have any field operations. He doesn't do anything.
I work in the field.
Talladega National
Works
Forest.
in the field.
I do. I carry a HT on me all day.
You were checking to see if you had it on right now.
I was, I feel lost without it. But I do. I carry an HT with me, all day, every day. Even at home, I still carry a handheld on me. So, because what we do is even at the house we run simplex. But I've also got one of the larger 5-inch speakers on a radio in the living room turned wide open. So if I need something from someone in the house or if something goes wrong, I can change that channel to like 4. I have it on a different one.
Let's break.
And then that way, if I needed to call for help or something like that, I can key that up and it echoes through the house. So I use it as a PA system, but then we switch it back to, our other simplex channel to, talk on the property. But all day, I carry one to monitor North Georgia GMRS.
Oh, yeah, you can call out to David just about any time of the day on the radio and get him. The exception might be if he's on the telephone or if he's engaged in one of his contractors, if he's trying to have a conversation. But for the most part, if he's just standing there watching his people do what they're supposed to do, you might be able to get David on the radio and have a conversation with him. So,
absolutely. Even run the 40-foot boom up to get a better reception. Yeah, I'm that guy.
Okay, yeah. So you've got an extra skyjack on the job just for that?
Right.
Perfect. All right. Well, David, who's first on our roster?
First on our roster is Chat 127 Larry. Unsure if you were in or out. Larry, are you with us? And do you do anything with field operations for radios?
Yes, sir. Good evening, fellas. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's been well. This is Larry, Chattanooga 127, WSAI 340. And no, I don't really do anything with field operations. I do have background like most of us in using CB radios, back in the day. And back when TVs used to be good, if you know what I mean. A lot of garbage these days on the TV, man. You can't even talk on them anymore. But yeah, I've been a GMRS operator now for probably about 6 months or so, and recently a brand new member here on the North Georgia GMRS Network. And in my day-to-day activities, I primarily use cell phone in my work. I'm actually a truck driver, and I work for FedEx. I'm actually on the road right now, heading up from Chattanooga to Knoxville right now. And then I also have to do a Nashville run this evening. But yeah, I primarily just use my cell phone. I listen to the radio now because I'm being on the road and running through these routes that I do, going up 24 and 75 and stuff. I can't really hit any of the repeaters on my HT. So Zello comes in very handy because I can stay in communication my entire route. So that comes in lovely, during my travels. But as far as the radio goes, I have used like FRS radios to communicate with my kids, which I have programmed my HT, my GMRS HT, to work with the FRS radios and able to talk to them when the kids are around the neighborhood playing with friends and things like that. But that's pretty much my extent of field operations. So I don't really do a whole lot, when it comes to terms of work or anything like that. But yeah, I appreciate it, guys, and great net tonight.
Very good. And GMRS could be a great application for driving jobs and a way to stay in contact with the network and just have an awareness of what's going on. And especially if you're regional and can operate within the network. But even if you have an extended area of coverage, you can always switch over to Zello and continue to monitor and operate that way. So good stuff, and glad to have you along. It's always good to hear new voices, and hope that we can catch up with you maybe in person. So, did I miss anything, David?
No, sir. And radios are more fun than cell phones. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
Next on our list is CW40. Robert, you got any fun activities you do in the field with radios?
He might have been in and out.
Yeah, he might have been in and out. He was another one that was questionable.
All right. CW40, you may have been in and out. No problem. Moving along to Atlanta 256. Chuck.
Well, speaking of operations.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that wasn't an operation, but never mind. We'll talk about that later.
Well, he put himself out there on YouTube in the comments. He checked in as Stones.
All right.
So he's.
Well, let's see if Chuck has an adventure.
The Rolling Stones is taken, so we'll have to come up with a different nickname.
Oh yeah, the Stationary Stones.
Stumbling.
He was in and out, but we'll see.
Chuck, do you have any comments for your adventures today? It may not have been a field operation, but nonetheless, are you talking to us or you working on an ice bag?
No, I'm just working on a nice buzz here. I haven't given birth to that stone yet, so it's still hanging in there. But yeah, my morning started about 7 o'clock, and the puppy was kind of laying right up next to me, so I knew something was up, and got up and said, "Ooh, I think this is another kidney stone."
So I got up, got dressed, and headed over to the brand new hospital here in Dahlonega. And it's rather nice. And I picked a good time, no waiting. And I was doing good. I was talking to Jeff on the way there, and I was feeling not too bad. And then it hit like a ton of bricks. And, yeah, they did a bunch of stuff, stuck my arm like 5 times trying to get an IV in me, and then went to a CT scan. And they said, oh, well, look at that. It's 2 millimeters. You'll pass it soon. So I was like, okay. So they gave me some drugs and sent me home, and here I am. But I will be mobile tomorrow for meeting up with Jeff, helping him out there. And I'm definitely going to be there Saturday. I wouldn't miss it for the world. And I think the boys from our luncheons will tell you that I haven't missed one yet. Might have been late, but even after surgery, I still met them there. But, yeah, anybody that's had them before, this is number 7 for me.
Oh.
And I don't, I feel for anybody that's ever had them. Yeah. Goodness, they're horrible. But, yeah, that was my adventure for today. So I look for a better day tomorrow and an even better
Timeout timer got him.
Better one on Saturday.
Right at 2 minutes.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on the air and sharing your adventure. It reminds me of a buddy of mine, Denny, from back in Fort Wayne, has had quite a history with stones, the kidney stones, and he's had tremendous difficulty with them at times. And I recall a story where Denny knew he had to get something taken care of, and while he was driving to the emergency room, he was feeling worse and worse. And by the time he got to the hospital and got parked, he didn't know if he could walk to the building, and so he waved somebody down in the parking lot and asked them if they could go and get somebody to bring a gurney out for him or a wheelchair or something, because he was in a lot of pain. And somebody came out and talked to him and said that they'd be happy to call him an ambulance. But they couldn't transport him from the parking lot to the hospital because, just because. So, mad as a hornet, Denny was not going to get in an ambulance to ride across the parking lot. He walked, and he nearly collapsed, he says, right there at the entrance to the emergency room. And he said he was sitting on the floor against the door, and he hollers, "Somebody call an ambulance." But they ended up coming and getting him, and they put him on a gurney, and they took him inside and got him taken care of. But he was mad as a hornet and hurting quite a lot. And, a lot of that additional discomfort could have been mitigated had they been willing to move that gurney an extra 100 feet. But no, they wouldn't do it.
Chuck also mentioned being late. As Mike said, late for Chuck is just on time for everybody else.
On time for the rest of us.
Well, yeah. I don't know that Chuck reads time the way the rest of the world does.
No, I think he's on like California time or something, because, maybe it's the other way, because you tell him 10 o'clock and he shows up at 8.
Yeah.
What time did we tell Chuck for Saturday?
It doesn't matter.
Noon.
Noon.
It doesn't matter. He'll be there waiting for us. And, he'll have an in with the officers waiting at the gate. So
that's true.
There's no, he's the one that won't get turned away. But
too funny.
All right. Who's next, David?
We had...
Holly is next.
Right. Atlanta 256.1. Holly in Dawsonville was in and out. Then we had Gainesville 58. Jonathan is in and out. Then Chat 30. Jonathan in Hickson is also in and out. Atlanta 823. Frank in Marietta is in and out. Chat 69. Ronnie in Las Vegas is in and out. Chat 160. David in Chickamauga, I wanted to say Chihuahua, is in and out. Rome 58, Chad in Rome is in and out.
You get a break.
McDonough 45, Kai in McDonough is in and out. Dallas 21, Lisa in Southwest Paulding County is in and out, along with Dallas 22, Seth, and Dallas 23, Belinda in Southwest Paulding County in and out. That brings us to chat 123, Steve in Ringgold. Unsure if you're in or out, but you got any comments on field operations with radios?
Or kidney stone stories.
Or kidney stone.
Hey, this is Chattanooga 123. I'm in. My last work with field operations was in the 80s in freezing cold weather when I was in a long-range surveillance detachment in Alaska, handling the commo for our ranger unit. And I don't miss the cold, the activity, and miss the state. But that's what I think of when I think about field operations a long time ago.
Where's that?
Yeah, I think Alaska would be a lot of fun to visit, but I don't want to work there.
No.
And I'd want to visit there in the summertime, not the winter.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, even in the summertime, it might be a little chilly in places, but yeah, I hear what you're saying. The field operations as you said, long range surveillance.
Yeah. Long range recon.
Seems like that's probably all he can say too.
We found snow. Can you report? It's all white.
It's all white. Yeah. Well, that's very interesting, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about those kind of operations, but that would be an interesting way of using the radio.
And I'm sure radios were involved in that case.
In that case, yeah, nothing else would be. So
Right.
neat stuff. Well, I'm sure even today there's ways that even if you don't personally do it, there's ways that you can find an application for radio. And like David uses radios around the property. Many of us use radios in our vehicles just to kind of have a way to reach out while we're driving around, and there's all kinds of applications for radio. So just a simple carrying an HT around the backyard or around the park as you're hiking, or all of those things are.
We carry them to the flea market.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come to row 2.
There's a great bargain over here. Yeah.
All right.
Good stuff. Thanks for that, Steve. Who do we have next?
Gainesville 44, Joe in Cleveland was in and out. And then Rome 313, Jay in Rome is in and out. Atlanta 454, Stephen in Lilburn. And Atlanta 453, Janine in Lilburn is also in and out. Chat 49, Robert in Dalton is in and out. Chat 75, Harry in Marietta was in and out. Then Atlanta 403, Bobby in Cleveland at the Vortex. He was in. What you got for us, Bobby? I bet you use radios in the field.
Yeah, that's kind of a field operation at the moment for Bobby because he's away from his QTH.
Right?
Yeah, his home base of operations. So, Bobby, what you got?
Well, you're right. I'm at the Vortex, and I hope I'm not overmodulating as usual. But, yeah, my biggest thing with field operations would be probably with our CERT team. And the biggest thing is probably when we do the Christmas parade, and we all get the radios going. But that's all on MERS. Can't really do too much with GMRS end of it there, but I do once in a while check in with, I think usually I end up hitting Atlanta 1402 when I'm in the square at Cleveland and talking to him while we're setting up fences and crowd control. But that's our biggest thing is certain MERS we use for field operations. And, and Jeep Fest, and yeah, that was great last year when we did it at Jeep Fest. Let me break. And that really worked out good at Jeep Fest. I mean, that was one of the biggest GMRS field operations we had then, and yeah, it was real good use of the radios, I thought, between being on the trails and being on the ground and walking back and forth across that midway 100 times, and that in that god-awful heat, but we still had a good time.
Oh, yeah. Well, conveniently, they had that mud bog in between the one side of the grounds and the other. You could have cooled off in on the way, but
Chuck tried that out.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, Jeep Fest was a lot of fun, and that's definitely a great way to operate in the field with your radio. So, great suggestion. And the parades, and that's something we're going to be talking about soon. Is on our list of coming topics. Ways that you can serve the community and volunteer in different things. And so parade service is definitely one of them, a way that you can help out with radio. In the coming up in July, they're looking for GMRS operators for the Peachtree Road Race. So anybody that would like to serve the community and use radio doing that, they're looking for GMRS operators for that. They're also looking for amateur operators for that, but there will be a kind of a joint operation for radio comms at that event. And there's a number of ways that you can serve your community, just as Bobby does for the Christmas parade. So something to just, make yourself useful in terms of serving your community. Find out who's involved and what kind of services they might like to be able to utilize. Maybe they don't have a volunteer radio communications group, and you can start one for your town's parades or community events. So, good stuff. All right. With that, where are we going next?
Next on our list is Dallas 6-4. Josh in Dallas is in and out. And then McDonough 2-2. Tim in Stockbridge. McDonough. Tim, you got any thing you use radios for out in the field?
Well, actually, I should have been in and out, gentlemen. Really, my mobility issues these days don't allow me to get out in the field too much. So, if I'm out and about, it's either a doctor's office visit or the grocery store or something like that. So, not much in the way of field operations going on here these days. So I'll just throw it back to net control there and enjoying everybody else talking.
I appreciate that, Tim. Yeah, we wasn't sure if you were in or out, so we figured we'd call on you anyway. So good to hear from you, and we will talk to you soon. Next we have Atlanta 3-1. Ron and Ackworth was in and out. Gainesville 1-0. Randall and Buford is in and out. Atlanta 3-4-2. David and Cummin is in and out. Cades Cove 8-0. Eric in Rockwood is in and out. Cades Cove 8-2. Jenny in Rockwood is in and out. Cades Cove 8-1. Renee in Rockwood is in and out. And then Cades Cove 8-3. Bill in Rockwood is also in and out. That brings us to Atlanta 250. Dana in Dahlonega is in. Dana, what are some of the field operations you can think of for radios? It's got to be something with Simplex, right? I was in the church parking lot with my antenna strapped to my truck, just waiting for the sheriff's department to pull by.
Yeah. He did say that he was in and out, but I was kind of hoping he would come on and talk about it tomorrow night.
What, Magoo?
Yeah.
All right.
He's not going to come back to us.
No Magoo.
All right, here we go.
No Magoo.
All right. Well, Atlanta 250 is in and out. That brings us to Dallas 16. Michael in Dallas is in and out. And then Gainesville 287. Trey in Maryville. Was he in with us tonight or in and out?
He's in.
Trey, what do you use radios for out in the field? That's right, Stevie was talking about.
I get his picture pulled up and everything. Now he's not going to come back to us.
Gainesville 287.
Gainesville 287. What are you up to this evening? And
when's the meat starting to smoke?
That's right. What kind of charcoal lighter fluid are you using? And And those, is it smoking Marlboros or what?
Or Match Light.
We're going to start about 11 o'clock tomorrow morning and running cowboy killers. And that's about all we know.
All right. So for those that don't know, Trey's going to be smoking probably at least 2 Boston butts for Saturday's get-together. And he prepared all the meat for last year's get-together, and we're looking forward to that. So you think
those watching the live stream, that's the smoker with Trey running it from last year.
Oh, very nice. So yeah, have a look see, and Trey, you're on the live stream. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know I was on live stream, but that's good to know. Thank you, Jeff.
All right, then. Well, we'll let you get back to preparing both of those Boston butts, or however many of them there are going to be, and we're looking forward to sampling the delicious product from that endeavor here in just a couple of days. Look forward to being able to see you once again and visit with you for just a little bit at the Smith Family Barbecue.
Yes, sir. I'm preparing one for you, Justin, one for Mr. Gary, and one for David Loomis and Miss Kate. I've got you a special box there, Jeff. We look forward to seeing each and every one of y'all and shaking hands and looking you eye to eye and talking to you face to face.
Very good, and yeah, appreciate the bale of hay you've got for Jeff. That grazer at the end of the table down there. He'll be just fine with that. So understand Gainesville 391 is down there helping out. Does he want to come on the air?
Yes, sir. I'll let me get back in here and mess with this port, and Gainesville 391 will talk to you here in just about 2 seconds.
All right, Trey. Thanks for coming on with us tonight. It's great to hear from you. And with that, we'll go ahead and move on to Gainesville 391. Don in Gainesville helping out with preparing the meat for the barbecue on Saturday. Don, what have you got for us?
Hey, this is Gainesville 391, and I'm preparing the salad is what I've been in charge with.
Oh, Jeff food.
Pre-beef.
The pre-beef is what Jeff says. So, yeah. So that's fitting for all the grazers that are coming. We're just picking on Jeff down here because he doesn't eat meat.
I'm just glad I don't have to compete with the cows out of that grain trough.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and the salad will be probably a little bit better than hay.
And it'll be free, so Mike's all set.
I was looking forward to the salad, too.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, good stuff, Don. Appreciate that. And preparations for the salad. There's lots of things that are going to be there. I don't know what the extent of the menu is. I do know that last year there was a lot of stuff and a wide variety of things. And, even if you don't like meat, there's still plenty to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And there were plenty of baked goods for dessert. So there was a wide variety of cookies and pieces of cake. And
you will not go hungry.
Yeah, if you leave that place hungry, it's your own fault. So it's all delicious. I mean, it's very, very good stuff. So
and it's all homemade stuff.
Yeah, it was. So you can't go wrong. So look forward to seeing lots of folks there. And thanks again, Don, for making those preparations. Who do we have next, David?
Next on our list is Atlanta 637. Dave in Kennesaw is in and out. That brings us to Dallas 290. Isaac in Dallas. Isaac, what is some of the radio usage you may have done in the past for field operations? Just seeing how the corner of my eye something moving on that side.
It's ended up being a wild Julie.
Yeah, right? I'm fine with that.
yeah. We might not have
right,
Isaac.
Here we go. Dallas 290. Isaac, you got any questions or comments for us? I'm just. Yeah, that's fine. All right, here we go. All right. Moving along, we'll mark you in and out. That brings us to Dallas 291. Miss Holt in Dallas is also in and out. Then Atlanta 307. Jonathan incoming. What are some of the field operations with radios that you've done or would well like to do?
Atlanta 307 net control. No comments, just monitoring this evening, but I appreciate it, and I look forward to meeting you folks at the barbecue on Saturday.
Move my foot. All right. Well, it'd be good to meet you at the barbecue. There's going to be a lot of hands to shake up there. And one thing's different from this year to last year. Everybody's got shirts now.
Shirts, yeah. Lots of folks that have shirts. If you don't have a shirt, that's okay.
Yeah.
You may be able to pick one up at the event. And but if you do have a shirt, that's really cool to see. All of the people wearing the swag, and
you can see it at the ham fests.
Yeah,
it's a little mob of black shirts walking around.
Yeah.
It's like that's our guys.
Yeah, that's right. and folks have taken notice.
Oh yeah.
When we go to those events of how many of the black shirts show up, and the groups that move around, and there's those GMRS guys again, and there must be something about that.
Yeah.
So.
Where's your trailer at? Is the one thing I hear the most.
Right.
The studio's over there. We don't have a trailer.
It's not a trailer.
That's right. That's right. So we definitely like for the studio to stand out. It is a distinct unit.
Yes.
And we really do like to refer to it as the studio rather than a trailer because, lots of radio clubs have communications trailers and of various capacities and configurations. We looked at a lot of them before we built this, and this is definitely a different animal in terms of what it's capable of, how it operates, and what we can do with it. So,
well, speaking of which, not to interrupt you, but as a reminder, Vanguard's repeater will be on the air at the grounds, so if you haven't, be sure to program that repeater frequency pair and PL tone into your HT. A nice low power channel with Vanguard, and you can talk to the whole network from the barbecue.
So, and that's something that's pretty cool, is that we will be linked in with the entire network. So from the barbecue, from your HT, you'll be able to talk all the way home to anybody that might be out there, and folks that don't come will be able to stay abreast of things that are going on the grounds. Feel free to radio in and talk with folks that are there, and it'll be an interesting day, that's for sure.
Absolutely. All right. Next on our list is Atlanta 631, Shad and Emerson. What are some of the field operations that you have done or would like to do with GMRS radio or radios in general? Lift your foot. I'm not used to using my boots at home. I got the little foot pads. So
yeah, these are serious.
I can't feel those with my boots on.
I think Shad's in and out.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go ahead and show Shad as in and out, but I did see a comment from Shad. Shad is one of those campsite operators for the Corps of Engineers on the lake, And he had commented about how he uses the radio around the site as he's doing different tasks and different things that the Corps requires of the hosts at those sites. So it's a great way for him to be able to stay in contact with Stacy and be able to stay safe out there as he's doing things like repairing the docks or other tasks that take him away from their immediate campsite. So that is definitely a field application for radio. So anyway, thanks for that, Shad. I did see your comments earlier, and I appreciate you checking in tonight. Next we have Chattanooga 162. Larry in Chattanooga is in and out. Also we have Noonan 43. Jim in Peachtree City is in and out. Gainesville 54. Kevin is a YouTube check-in. Gainesville. Okay, I think I got that wrong. No, I didn't get it wrong.
You got that
Gainesville
one right.
54. And then we have Atlanta 557. Ed is another YouTube check-in, in and out. Atlanta 558. Denise, another YouTube check-in. Gainesville 285. CV in Murrayville, in and out. Gainesville 286. Lynn in Murrayville, in and out. Chattanooga 121. Mark in Ottawa is a YouTube check-in. Gainesville 117. Damon in Murrayville is in and out. Gainesville 118. Susan in Murrayville, in and out. And the famous Gainesville 120. Emmeline in Murrayville is in and out. That brings us to CW5. Cindy in Comer is in and out. Chattanooga 110. Jim in Ringgold is in and out. Chattanooga 59. Ivan in Riceville is in and out. There I am. Atlanta 263. Roger in Dunwoody is in and out. Atlanta 11. John in Canton is in and out. Atlanta 849. Pamela in Duluth is in and out. Atlanta 848. Ernest in Duluth is in and out. Atlanta 780. Houston in Austell, we have you as in and out. CW2. Stephen in Arnoldsville is in and out. Dallas 69. Brett in Hiram is in and out. Atlanta 261. Scott in Holly Springs is in and out. Atlanta 589. Don in Kennesaw, in and out. And he lost his tail gunner spot to some YouTube check-ins. We have WRMB 802. Larry is a guest check-in.
He's all the way from Colorado.
Colorado on YouTube. It's great to have you with us tonight, Larry. We have CW8. Robbie from Colbert is a YouTube check-in. Atlanta 570. Jason from Suwanee is a YouTube check-in. And BR64. Melissa from Blue Ridge is a YouTube check-in.
We got one more coming in hot.
Coming in hot. We have Atlanta 420. William in Roswell is a YouTube check-in. Those are the check-ins we have at this time. So I guess that's the point at which we call out for any additional late check-ins, any questions or comments. Net Control standing by.
Thank you. I told him I'd get him in the log and I didn't.
I saw the comments and I'm like,
And I guess
I don't know why I didn't. I just never.
This is
WRWB.
This is
What did I say?
WRDV 960.
WRM.
Atlanta 14. Jeremy and Ackworth. In and out.
You want to make that correction?
I
when we
have
come back?
WSA 606 with a comment.
Who's that?
I think it was Cindy.
Atlanta 420, WRFS 771 with a comment.
Yeah, it sounded like.
CW5 and 420 both with comments.
Atlanta 403 with a comment.
255 WFM 586 in and out.
Way faster than I am at this.
Why do you think we just let him do it?
I'm over here trying to go towards. Never mind. I just give up.
It becomes muscle memory, honestly.
Too far.
Director of roll call.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what BR64 calls me.
Go ahead and acknowledge.
Y'all ready?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. All right. So we had Atlanta 1-4, Jeremy in Woodstock is in and out. Then Atlanta 255, Jennifer in Dawsonville is in and out. And we have some comments. One correction for the guest, that call sign was WRWB802, Larry in Colorado on YouTube. Comments, CW5, Cynthia, Cindy. I'm just reading it right off. Cindy, what's your comments or questions?
I was just listening to everybody. I thought, well, from the newbie corner here, I do actually have a field operations story. It was the first time we ever managed to check in on a net, and my husband, bless his heart, just was centered around trying to make it happen for us, and he had this mobile unit that we're like using as a base station with a Yagi directional antenna tied up or attached to a PVC pipe that was stuffed in the hole of the truck side, the hole in the side of the panel of the back of the truck bed. So it was much higher, and the cable, and we finally got positioned into the backyard where we're pointing in the right direction, and we managed to check in on the net. And that was just like, I threw my hands up in the air and said, "Oh my gosh, we did it!" So that was my big moment when we first got started in GMRS.
That's a cool feeling.
So just thought I'd share.
Well, that's good stuff, Cindy. And I tell you, that's something that we kind of hear over and over again is when people make their first contact on the network. It's a great feeling of success. It comes easier for some than others. I mean, some people can just turn on their HT and be able to get in pretty easily with that and have a good signal or sometimes even a full quieting signal. For Julie and I, that was exactly what we did. We were able to check into our first net, standing in a driveway while we're throwing a ball for the dog. And for others, it's a little more challenging to be able to get an antenna set up properly that will make that trip and get in. And during the time that you guys came on board, Flagship was a little bit handicapped. So its performance is considerably better today than it was when you guys first came on the air. But that adds to the challenge for a lot of folks. But we do enjoy hearing that story of success, and we're glad that we hear it often. And I guess for those that are unsuccessful, we just don't hear them, right?
Not yet.
That's how that works. Yeah.
Not yet.
The challenge is still in front of them, but. Good stuff. And for those that are out there that are unsure, you're not a member yet, you're just monitoring, and you don't know if this is something that you want to become a part of. We do take guest check-ins, and for the nets, whether it's my net or David's net on the Rabbit Hole program, or even the Simplex Challenge, or even the Skywarn net if you're in the Chattanooga area,
and the Kids Net.
And the Kids Net, especially the Kids Net. We don't require a membership for participation in those nets. It's a great opportunity to test your equipment and to kind of evaluate whether or not this network is something that you want to be a part of. And
one brief thing I wanted to add, though, when Cindy was talking about testing her equipment, hats off to the members, too, for answering those radio checks and keep making adjustments. That's one thing I've always heard is, everyone being so eager to help.
And, an honest assessment of signal quality is important.
Yes.
I mean, I've heard some people come on and tell everybody that you sound great. You sound great. You sound great. And if they don't sound great, they need to know Because how do you know how to adjust if you don't really know? I mean, if they're telling me I sound great and I don't,
I'm going to walk away from that antenna adjustment.
and think that it's good. So, like for instance, the radio that I had in the old truck was a Kenwood NX 800 radio, and it was a narrowband radio. I can't tell you how many people told me I sound good, and I can't hear myself when I'm transmitting. So I'm taking people at their word that I sound good on that radio, and only to find out that other people are telling me more honestly that radio does not sound good. So that's important to give people an honest assessment of what you hear. And if you don't know if you don't know what the lingo is, just describe it. I've heard people describe static as snow. That's a really good analogy.
Fuzz.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter. Just convey the message as accurately as you're able to, and
we'll figure out what you're trying to say.
That's right. That's right. And if it makes sense to you, it probably makes sense to other people. And in a lot of ways, that's better than knowing the jargon, knowing the lingo.
Yeah.
Your signal is 5x5. I don't even know what that means.
Wall to wall.
Yeah. I mean, go away with that stuff. We just want to hear plain language descriptions of what things sound like. So that's a great story, Cindy. I'm glad you brought that. Cindy, are you coming on Saturday?
Yes, I wish I was. I wish we were, and I can't tell you how welcoming the group has been, and just about everybody I've talked to on the radio has asked that very question. And I'm sad to say we can't attend because we've had planned company coming in from out of state, so we can't attend. But well, hopefully we'll be able to be at a gathering sometime soon and meet.
Planned company, maybe CV has room for everybody. Bring them
And
along.
I just want to throw one more thing out there for field operations. Just as a newbie again, I have noticed that my signal gets better at night. And I know there's an explanation for that, way technical, but just thought you might cover that topic. I'll back to next control.
The signal's got more strength because you're not as tired. Heat wears them out.
Well, very good stuff, and yeah, we'll have to maybe add that to one of our topics coming up, and see if we can cover some of that radio theory and its applications. So good stuff, Cindy, and glad to have you on the air tonight. Sorry you're not going to be there Saturday. I get it. Prior plans. There will be other events. So hopefully we'll be able to connect with you at some point. And I think this barbecue is going to be an annual thing. So maybe we'll see you there next year. Maybe next year you can bring your out-of-state friends and we'll all hang out. But meanwhile, thanks for checking in tonight and appreciate your comments. Next comments we have are from Atlanta 420, William in Roswell. William, do you have any field operating stories you'd like to share?
I would have just said it's cut down on the whistle and the hollering to the house there to get the attention. That's always a good thing for the GMRS radios. I wondered if Trey was going to put 50 pounds of salt on the grill so that we can all remember the barbecue all year long by adding the salt to the burgers that we make at home. I was curious what Mike's asking him to put on the grill there. If he's going to do smoked almonds or Whataburgers. I'm sure Trey can do Whataburgers, but I don't know what would be a good suggestion there, Mike.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
His moment of glory. What was the question?
Yeah, I'm over here yammering on YouTube. William, I must confess,
Mike was distracted. He was multitasking.
I was multitasking.
Listening to comments on the radio was not one of the tasks he was multitasking.
I was getting back to someone on YouTube. Hit me with that question one more time, William.
I was just wondering what kind of vegetarian foods are good done on a smoker there. That's kind of interesting there. I'm sure Trey could do the Whataburgers, and hey, I think the smoking some salt might be a great idea for everybody. Over.
William, go ahead.
You gonna smoke some cabbage over there?
I think gonna smoke his free salad.
I think I smoked cheese once, but well, that's not vegetarian, is it? William, I think you're thinking of Jeff. This is Mike, Blue Ridge 63. I'm a hearty meat lover. We do a lot of smoking and whatnot too, so I'm gonna kick it to Atlanta 750 for his comments.
Well, you can put the burgers and those kinds of things, and even vegetables in the smoker, but I don't think that's Trey's intention. I think he's just gonna throw me a good old-fashioned veggie burger on the regular grill. I don't think we need to throw a veggie burger in the smoker for hours. I don't think that's waste.
But you could.
You could
if it was running.
But I don't think that's needed for this operation.
Yeah, through the years I've met plenty of vegetables that smoke, but that's another story.
That's another net for another night.
Mike's probably smoked some vegetables.
To that, yeah, it was Jeff there. Mike got me on the smoked salad there. Over.
Smoked salad.
Too funny. I suppose we could throw some spinach leaves on the smoker there, just for the experiment. But that's a hard pass for me. I don't have a lot of interest in that. But all right, William. Well, thanks for that, and look forward to seeing you on Saturday. Next on the list of comments, we have comments from Atlanta 403 Bobby at the Vortex. Bobby, what you got?
I've got two main comments here. First of all, I'm very proud to see the flux capacitor fluxing once again. And second one was when you were talking to Cynthia, Toccoa timed out. So, I don't know.
There's a shocker.
We blew the timeout timer.
Toccoa's got a timeout timer. I didn't think any of ours really did, but Toccoa timed out when you were talking. We could still hear you on the handheld outside in the porch, but inside we're on Toccoa, and it just cut out.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, Bobby, if you don't mind, would you make note of that and send an email to support at NGGMRS.org, and when John is available, we'll see if he can take a look at the settings on that device and disable that timeout timer. That's most likely what the issue is, but we have a mysterious timeout timer function somewhere in the network, and we've noticed that anomaly even when people are talking to us, that sometimes it's a timeout timer on their radio, and sometimes it's a timeout timer somewhere in the network that will drop a signal. So there seems to be the existence of a timeout timer that we've not yet been able to turn off, and it seems to be right at about 3.5 minutes.
3.5 minutes, 3 minutes 45, and then it cuts.
And it's interesting because if I break that 3.5 minute timeout timer, I can still hear. We're able to hear flagship on a radio in the distance, and so there's a little bit of a delay, and because there's a little bit of a delay and we can just barely hear it, it tells us that we're still on that repeater. And so many times I've hit the timeout timer and gone past it, but I can still hear flagship talking. So that tells me that timeout timer isn't affecting flagship, but it does affect other linked repeaters. So it's something that we're still kind of digging around trying to find where in the network that might be. If it's somewhere in the core server software, or if it's somewhere in a particular node, we haven't found it yet, and it's perplexing. But we'll task John with additional research as he has time. He's a busy guy, got family to raise, and he's got a full-time job, and
big trip for work coming up.
And we're all volunteers here, so family comes first, obviously, and then we all have to make a living. But we love to do what we do, and I know John loves to research and find these things. So we'll task him with that and hopefully get that resolved. That'd be great if we could clear it once and for all, because I break timeout timers.
Leave it to you to find them all.
You don't break them, you find them.
Well, if it's out there, I'm gonna get past it. All right, let me break. I'll be right back.
That's it. We got a couple more check-ins that I've slid in there so we can hit 80. 80 chickens.
All right. All right, David, you got a couple of late-breaking YouTube check-ins to throw at us?
We do. We have another guest, WSCK608, Jeff in Woodstock on YouTube is in and out. Then we had Atlanta 170, Dalton in Cartersville is in and out. And then WRZY 312, Ron in Locust Grove on YouTube is in and out. One more round?
No, sir. We're going to go ahead and call it right there. And
we got to start packing this thing up.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, this thing's got to get. We got to put a lot of stuff away and make this thing ready to roll for the event. I want to get it out of its current parking position. My concern is if we get rain tonight or in the morning, we may have a challenge in moving it through the mud that is become my backyard.
Not the field operation you want to do.
That is not. That is not. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and close at this time. What is our count there, Director of Roll Call?
80 chickens.
80 chickens. All right. Well, thanks each and every one of you that took the time to check in tonight, and whether you were in or in and out, glad to have you as part of the net. 80 is our count this evening. This will conclude the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. I just said we had a total of 80 check-ins, including net control here tonight. I will now be returning the repeaters back to their normal use. Everyone who signed in should sign out. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember, comments on our YouTube videos show engagement with the video and help the channel grow. Tonight's net is dedicated. Actually, I don't have a new one there. I had one in mind and I didn't follow through on it. So we're gonna pass on the dedication tonight. But folks, if you have a beloved pet that you would like us to acknowledge at the conclusion of a net, send me an email and let me know about that. Tell me a little story, and we'll see if we can get those added in here. We'll say thanks to each and every one of you for allowing us to serve as your net control this evening. Good night, everyone. This is Atlanta 946 WQIR 514. My name is Justin.
This is Dallas 20, WRKT 728. My name is David.
This is WRWM 344, Blue Ridge 63. My name is Mike.
And Atlanta 750, WRMR 367. My name is Jeff.
We are North Georgia GMRS Network.
And we are clear. Good night, everybody. Hope to see you Saturday.
Good night, folks.